Thanks, Heidi, and welcome back to Allie Alberts. It's the opening night of the LFL, the 10th anniversary season. The Seattle Mist versus the Los Angeles Temptation. Next, home to your own Bobby Hugo.
First time ever I am home in Hollywood. I feel Hollywood tonight. What a game we got tonight. Two legendary franchises, LA and Seattle.
And you can just feel the atmosphere in this building. You felt it all day. When these two tee up for the 10th anniversary game, the energy is going to be different.
Absolutely. Yeah, KK Matheny, one of the legendary quarterbacks in this league since she was a starter at Tampa. Here she is back in Seattle.
You saw the numbers on KK Matheny, a respectable, managed the Nashville Knights all the way to the Eastern Conference Championship in 2018. Now a 1st and 10. Matheny under center, heavy rush. That is Sherry Awaga all over KK Matheny.
Watch Awaga. She comes off the edge. Nobody touches her. Goes around Stevie Shore. Gets to the quarterback. That is the defensive game plan tonight. KK Matheny is not as mobile as she used to be. She's going to get heavy pressure.
Here's a jet sweep, Dominique Malloy. And there's the speed of Malloy. That'll be good for 7 yards. That is a patent call with Chris Michelson, the offensive coordinator for Seattle.
Dominique Malloy, arguably the fastest player in the LFL. There's no way anybody can get the edge as fast as she can. Inside linebacker could not get out there.
A 3rd and 3 again, big time pressure. This time that is T.J. Anderson. And you know what? Early on, I think this Los Angeles team is committed to bringing the heat after KK Matheny.
T.J. Anderson is a beast. Matheny can't move away from her. She's not as agile. Nobody touched T.J. Anderson. Right now, L.A. on fire.
And you could see the numbers on Anderson, an all-fantasy season in 2018. And a game plan, I think, from D.C. Hunter Hudson to get after KK Matheny. Matheny is not in the playing shape that we've normally seen her. We saw that in Nashville last year, and that clearly is limiting her mobility. Now a 4th and 10. Matheny from the shotgun. Crossing pattern underneath. That's Schnorr. The Bull. They're going to give her enough for a 1st down as we meet Seattle's offense.
Katie Whalen, center.
The Bull, running back.
Jade Randall, tight end.
Dominique Malloy, receiver.
Allie Alberts, receiver.
KK Matheny, quarterback.
The buzz around the LFL is the acquisition of free agent Allie Alberts. Team her up with Matheny, Jade Randall, and Malloy. It is like the Golden State Warriors.
Another handoff to the Bull, wide open space. That'll be good for 9 yards, setting up a 2nd and 1.
That 4th down conversion on 4th and 10 was huge. Man-to-man coverage, the veteran quarterback KK Matheny saw that, went underneath. Nobody had the Bull. Schnorr, and they got to 10 yards in the 1st down.
And you know, I think that's got to be the key. Somebody's got to spy Stevie Schnorr. And can Monique Gaxiola, in her 1st game back in 2 years, be that spy?
What a way to come back for Mo Gaxiola against this talented team.
2nd and 1, another dump off to the Bull. A gain of 7 and another Seattle 1st down.
Great read by KK Matheny again. She's smart. She got the early pressure, dropping back deep. Now she's going underneath to her back, Stevie Schnorr, and getting big gains.
This Los Angeles defense is just being picked apart. It's a young, rebuilding defense, and KK Matheny recognizes that.
Matheny's a veteran quarterback. She didn't get rattled after that early pressure. She's taking advantage of Mo Gaxiola right now is not moving too good, and Schnorr is getting open underneath.
That's a 1st and goal toss play. Dominique Malloy all the way down to the 2-yard line, and this LA defense is on skates right now. Let's meet their starters.
Jasmine Edwards, free safety.
Tiana Anderson, defensive end.
Monique Gaxiola, middle linebacker.
Marissa Lopez, strong safety. Sherry Waga, Deanne.
All eyes tonight are on middle linebacker Monique Gaxiola. Is she in playing shape?
And that is a second and goal handoff. Touchdown, Seattle. How about Allie Alberts signing this offseason and making an impact early?
That is exactly the reason why Albert signed with Seattle. She was not getting any touches in Chicago on offense. She wanted to be a star on offense, which she is. Keith Hack in Chicago didn't give her the football. Chris Michelson simply said, we're going to feed you the football. Great athletes know there's only a small window for their athletic career, and she's one of the best of all time in the LFL. She wants one more championship, and she came to a team that is absolutely loaded.
Allie Alberts, one of the knocks against her was, is she an offensive threat? I think she answered that question early, and that is the extra point conversion by Kiera Williams. So Seattle up now 7-0. Despite a good start for that LA defense, Seattle on the board early. Back to LFL football night. There's downtown Los Angeles. And inside, the LA Temptation find themselves trailing 7-0 early.
Ashley Salerno, there's her stats from last year. She didn't play the entire season. She had some personal problems. She came in shape this year and is ready to go.
Look at Stevie Schnorr getting it done on both sides of the football, dragging down Naz Johnson, limiting Johnson to a 1-yard carry.
Stevie Schnorr can do it on both sides of the football. As a power running back, a receiver out of the backfield, and definitely on defense.
And look, they're going to rely heavily on Naz Johnson this year, an untested passing game. Certainly you have one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but you really don't have any receivers on the outside. And that's Naz Johnson again, making a shifty move and able to salvage about 4 yards on the carry.
When I spoke with head coach Rory Derry before the game, that was the offensive game plan. Establish the run, dominate the line of scrimmage, and that's how they started the game out so far. Now, can they do this all game long against a strong Seattle defensive line? I'm not sure, but they're going to try.
Now a 3rd and 5. Ashley Salerno from the shotgun. We will see if this passing attack can conjure up a first down here. That's Claude in motion. Jet sweep, Claude trying to get the edge, nothing doing. That's Savannah Wood, the lumberjack. She had an impact on this team last year as well.
The lumberjack is like a walking clenched fist. Now this is Nina Claude, the fastest player on the LA team, and she runs her down.
Limiting Claude to a 1-yard carry. That sets up a 4th and 4 from the Los Angeles 21 as Chris Michelson looks on. Now Los Angeles cannot punt the ball here because they're outside of the 15-yard line. So this is 4-down territory.
Ashley Salerno is known as one of the better passers of all time in the LFL. The problem is she doesn't have a great receiving corps.
From the shotgun, a little misdirection, a draw play, not fooling anybody, especially Jade Randall, as Seattle will hold and take over on downs.
Talk about being conservative. 4th and 4. You got Salerno at quarterback and you run inside. They had no chance.
Should I start the drum roll early about Rory Derry, the offensive coordinator for Los Angeles? Look, he had the worst season, I think, of an offensive coordinator in league history, and it looks like he's picking up where he left off last year.
You would think he'd have an exciting offense, having played football in college at Oregon. Their offense is all flash. Tonight, it's really boring so far for offense for LA.
Well, you mentioned it. Ashley Salerno is regarded as the GOAT in this game in terms of quarterbacks. Why not open it up on a 4th and 4? Calling a draw play is in essence giving up. This is KK Matheny. On the other hand, Matheny not shy with the football at all. That was intended for Allie Alberts and fell a little far.
TJ Anderson bringing the heat tonight on Matheny. Wow, bam! KK Matheny might want to ask her front line to block a little bit.
So now that'll set up a 2nd and 10. Quick dump off again for Alberts. Alberts figuring into this offense in a big way, at least early. That reception good for 7 yards.
Great call by Coach Chris Michelson. That's the way to stop the heat. A quick tunnel screen to Allie Alberts, 2 blockers in front, solid gain.
Ball now at the Los Angeles 13-yard line. Matheny back to pass, looking to the left. So thus far, it has been a Stevie Schnorr, Allie Alberts show. Again, that secondary, very young on Los Angeles and extremely inexperienced.
Marissa Lopez, she should have seen Stevie Schnorr standing by herself on the outside. Got over there way late. KK Matheny saw that and delivered a strike.
See Cash and Marissa Lopez in that backfield. Those two were not even playing last year. That is Stevie Schnorr right up the middle. Touchdown, Seattle.
Unbelievable block by Seattle center. Katie Whelan absolutely destroyed the Hall of Famer. Watch this. She just takes her out of the picture. Mo Gaxiola getting blown away. There's a hole a Mack truck could go through.
Yeah, we talked about Monique Gaxiola, and is she going to be able to play after that 2-year hiatus? And right there, you could see she was overwhelmed by Katie Whelan.
Seattle head coach Chris Michelson giving Gaxiola no respect, going right at her and blowing her out.
Now Ashley Salerno in this offense down 14-0. Will have to mount a rally against a pretty good Seattle defense.
Head coach Rory Derry, who is also the offensive coordinator, has to open this game up on offense.
So now a 1st and 10. Salerno remains in the shotgun, electing to keep it herself. That'll be good for 3 yards. At this point, if you're LA, you've got to mount a drive and move the sticks.
I really got to question the play selection of Rory Derry. This quarter is almost over. They've been one of the best all-time quarterbacks, and she has not attempted one pass.
Now a 2nd and 7, ball at the Los Angeles 18-yard line. And if you're down 14 points and you have a woeful defense like Los Angeles, they've got to keep pace here offensively.
Absolutely. They got to stop the bleeding and make something happen.
2nd and 7. That is Lindsey Cash in motion. Salerno looking down the field, has a receiver. Hallie Chisbra. Exactly what they needed. A 32-yard connection from Salerno to Chisbra.
Wow, a home run throw by Salerno, but Chisbra gets by all fantasy defensive safety. Jade Randall one-on-one. I never would have believed that if I didn't just see it with my own eyes.
And Chisbra was a center, converted to tight end. There is no way she should be outrunning Jade Randall.
We got to find out for Randall what happened on that coverage. There's no way. She blew right by her, and what a pass by Salerno. They're back in it.
Down 6-14. They're going to need this extra point. Receivers flank to the right side of Salerno. A keeper now tossing it into the end zone. An unbelievable Brett Favre-like play, and appropriately received by Ann Erler, formerly of the Green Bay Chill.
What a play by Salerno. You're right. This is Brett Favre right here. She looks down, going down, throws it up. She knows she has talent in the backfield there. Caught in the back of the end zone. They're back in this football game.
That did not take long, folks. A 2-play, 35-yard drive by Ashley Salerno in this Los Angeles offense.
This crowd at Citizens Bank Arena is going crazy right now.
And there's a bit of concern there from Chris Michelson of Seattle. They came into this game as a heavy 9.5-point Vegas favorite, and right now they're locked up in a battle.
He looked like he was in shock. He looked like a confused dog. Hallie Chisbra went flying by as all fantasy safety.
1st and 10, and when in doubt, give it to the Bull. As this first quarter winds down, Seattle in LA giving us the show we all expected.
Wow, we got a ball game now. This is fun.
Great open field tackle there. And that's TJ Anderson. If there's somebody that's got to get a stop here, is TJ Anderson in this LA defense.
That life is back in the arena right now. Hopefully that life is back in the LA defense.
And that'll wind it down here for the first quarter from Ontario, California. Los Angeles mounting a rally on the wheels of Hallie Jiskra. Back to LFL football night in front of a rocking packed house here in Ontario, California. Mitch Mortaza, Bobby Hugo, and Heidi Goldsneck down on the field.
Head coach Rory Derry for Los Angeles has got to be pretty happy after one quarter, only down one score against this potent Seattle team.
A 2nd and 4 ball at the 20. End around reverse. That's Kiera Williams. And Williams getting to the second layer of the defense. Finally brought down by Danielle Harvey.
Wow, Kiera Williams could probably start for any LFL team. Here in Seattle, she barely sees the field. Look at the acceleration. She has 2 lead blockers in front of her. At the end of the play, Lindsay Cash makes a shoestring tackle, or she would have gone for 6.
Yeah, Danielle Harvey came in late. I believe she was already down with the Cash tackle. Nonetheless, a 1st and 10. Seattle now set up inside the 12 of Los Angeles. From the shotgun, Matheny rolling right now, trying to buy time. A little dangerous shovel pass. And I don't think Allie Alberts even turned around or was expecting it.
It came so late, Allie Alberts thought she was going to run, so she turned around to block for KK, and KK did the shovel pass, obviously incomplete.
So now a 2nd and 10. One of the few miscommunications this offense has had early. For so many new pieces to be coming together this season, they've really been efficient through one half of play.
Absolutely, they look good. I mean, Kiera Williams, that's a backup running back that almost broke it and went coast to coast.
So now a 2nd and 10, full backfield. Kiera Williams and Stevie Schnorr. The rock is going to go to the bull. A 4-yard carry and a host of Los Angeles tacklers.
Danielle Harvey, we haven't spoken about her much, but I talked to 2 ex-coaches, Tui Suanoa and Coach Biz. They said that is the #1 player of all time because she doesn't complain and she comes to play every game, year in and year out.
Yeah, Danielle Harvey has been stout on this defense for a number of years. Played some DN, has now been moved to the corner position with the release of Agam Chichindu. Now, a 3rd and goal. Make it a 3rd and 6 from the 8. Into the flat. And I'm not sure if Savannah Wood held on to it. Looks like she did. That'll be a 4-yard reception.
Great read by KK Matheny. They had a trips right. They had Wood at left tight end. She had a quick release. Wood's got hands like Oak, obviously, but somehow she brought it down.
Now, does Woods have hands like Oak, or is she clinched like a fist?
Well, they go together. You can't catch with a clenched fist, but somehow she brought it down.
I'm with you, Bob Hugo. 4th and 2. A huge opportunity for this LA defense to hold. A kind of a wishbone full backfield set, -1 runner. That's Kiera Williams. So kind of a thunder and lightning approach from Seattle. Touchdown.
Wow, Kiera Williams, she wants it all, and she wants it now. This is a backup running back. Watch the read. She reads the block, goes inside, boom, cuts it back out. Nobody around her. What a running game for Seattle.
A great lead block there by the Bulls, Stevie Schnorr. But again, I think that defensive front for Los Angeles is simply outmatched by the likes of Katie Whelan, Jade Randall, and Shay Norton.
Right now, Seattle can do whatever they want. Coach Chris Michelson could run it, he can throw it, and he's doing it both right now. Look at him. That's a happy coach right there.
So now Seattle lining up for a 2-point conversion from the 3-yard line. Shotgun rolling right into the flat, complete. But Schnorr had to step outside of the end zone to come back for that football. So our score will remain 20-7. Seattle with a commanding lead. Savannah Wood, the passing game, everything clicking for the Seattle Mist. Johnny Depp making a cameo at an LFL game. I think, you know what, it's the 10th anniversary season. We had to go out and spend some money and bring in the original pirate, Johnny Depp himself.
I got misty-eyed when I saw him backstage. I said, that's Johnny Depp, the man.
I did not know he would be available for this game, but he's working the sidelines. 1st and 10. Ashley Salerno winding down. Nobody there. Under some duress from Savannah Wood. We talked about the pressure TJ Anderson is applying to KK Matheny. Conversely, Savannah Wood has been all over Ashley Salerno.
Salerno has to be frustrated right now. Over the last 10 years, she had some of the most talented receivers in the LFL. This team simply doesn't have the talent at wideout. She had time, there's nobody open.
Now a 3rd and 6 ball at the 15. From the shotgun, a draw play. That's Nas Johnson, at least gaining some positive yardage. That'll be a carry for 4 yards as we meet Seattle's defense.
Kira Bryant, DN. Ali Alberts, free safety.
The Lumberjack at DN.
Dominique Malloy, corner.
Stevie Schnorr, linebacker.
Kiera Williams, corner.
Jade Randall, free safety.
They are loaded from top to bottom, but they're led by the LFL Defensive Player of the Year, Kira Bryant.
And that's a little miscommunication between Salerno and Nas Johnson. All Salerno could do was fall on the football.
Smart play, fall on the ball, but this is LA. They get moving, then they ruin a basic handoff. Sometimes they just look like skim milk. They try to act like milk, but they just aren't.
I'm gonna have a hard time following that logic. Skim milk versus real milk? What's the difference? I'm not a big milk drinker.
Well, one's real and one's fake.
I got you. Meanwhile, a 4th and 8. Ball at the Los Angeles 17-yard line. Are they gonna open it up here? Bob Huco.
You have to open it up, Coach. You have to open the game up.
Looking to set up a little play action to Ann Erler, and she was triple covered by Alberts, Randall, and Williams. And that's offensive coordinator Rory Derry, who we've made famous on the broadcast, by the way, complaining about a hold.
It was triple coverage. She just wasn't open. I know it's a quick hitting play right off the line of scrimmage, but your quarterback has to look to see if she's open. You can't throw it up there if she's triple covered.
So now Seattle with prime position inside the 17-yard line of Los Angeles. This has really been a field position game, at least in the first half. And this could be our very first penalty of the night. Early indication this will be pass interference on Los Angeles.
Chelsea Hart, the cornerback for Los Angeles, on an island out there by herself against the speedy Bryant.
Here's head referee Jeremy Hewick.
Defense number 9, 5-yard penalty.
Chelsea Hart, a lot of coaches want her to play inside, but she bulked up. She's in great shape. She just put weight on. Can she play corner like she used to? Bryant was going to blow right by her, so she, quite frankly, just grabbed her and took the penalty.
I got news for you. Chelsea Hart has never been able to cover in this league. That is someone that should be playing inside, much like Agam Chichindu, the other former corner. They're great tackling corners. They can't cover you right now, and you're 67. Here's Seattle, 1st and 10, wide open. What a dart from KK Matheny to Ali Alberts. Touchdown, Seattle.
This is why they brought Ali Alberts in. Nobody runs routes like her. Watch this corner route. The timing from KK Matheny, perfect. She put the DB going inside. Danielle Harvey, she went outside. Perfect pass, Seattle on the board.
You think Chicago got the memo now that Ali Alberts is actually impactful on the offensive side of the ball as well?
Well, she wasn't shy about it. Keith Hack wanted her to play defense. She wants to play offense, and she's showing it tonight.
So now the one-point attempt, that's Dominique Malloy practically walking into the end zone. And how about this score? 27-7 Seattle.
A lot of people probably didn't see it. You would think Allie Alberts would take it play off after scoring a touchdown. She blew out the cornerback, Chelsea Hart, to the back of the end zone. Malloy walked in untouched.
Now Los Angeles down 20, has got to put some points on the board on this drive.
You could hear a pin drop right now in Ontario, California.
Salerno remaining in the shotgun again, going down the field, and how is that not a penalty?
Salerno going crazy right now, just like the crowd is. That was absolutely a penalty, should have been called.
I think you got to call this both ways. Certainly the Hart pass interference was there, and this time Malloy, you could see with the arm bar, with her left arm all over Ann Erler.
David Price is saying that is unbelievably great football. There's no call there, but we know that was pass interference.
David Price, the defensive coordinator for the Seattle Mist, as you can see, very boisterous. He knows how important this stop is. Up 20 points, if you can go into the half with that kind of margin away, that is always a good scenario. Now a 3rd and 8, a lot of misdirection in the backfield. Kind of an ugly looking play. Salerno electing to keep it herself, but only managing 2 yards.
The RPO offense again, 3rd and 8. You have a quarterback with a gun. You run the RPO inside with your quarterback running. Just not a good call.
This Seattle defense far more athletic than most defenses in the league. And I'm not sure Ashley Salerno necessarily has the mobility to effectively run an RPO offense.
100% right. She used to be a great runner, but like us, all of us, including you, Mitch, she's getting older. She can't run as well.
A 3rd and 8 ball to 17, another go route. This one intended for Melissa Miles, not even close.
They came with a blitz off the edge. They got to Salerno. She threw it up quick. It wasn't even close. I don't like all these deep routes. They need to throw the ball underneath.
You got plenty of time. Yeah, you're down 20 points, but you've got to move the sticks here. The challenge has been all first half is field position for Los Angeles. They've been turning it over on downs, and KK Matheny and company have had short fields.
You got to use the talent you have. If Allie Alberts or Jade Randall played for him, you go deep.
And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning in Ontario, California. The Los Angeles Temptation faltering on both sides of the ball. Can they mount a rally? Back to LFL football night, a look at downtown Los Angeles. And inside here in Ontario, California, the road team, the Seattle Mist, are having a 20-point edge here.
This is almost a must-drive for Ashley Salerno in LA. She's a competitor. She doesn't have the talent around her like she used to, but she's got to make something happen.
So now a 4th and 8. Los Angeles cannot punt the ball because they're outside of the 15-yard line. Salerno trying to create with her feet, dumping it off. That's Nas Johnson. And that'll be good enough for a Los Angeles first down, by far the most effective offensive play of the night.
Great play by Salerno, buying time. They came with the blitz on the edge. She steps out of it. Whalen came too flat. Salerno went outside. Nas Johnson wide open, gets a big gain, first down, Los Angeles.
And not the greatest effort by Stevie Schnorr to get to Ashley Salerno. Now Los Angeles in business inside the 15, make it the 16-yard line of Seattle. Here's a draw play. Nas Johnson looking shifty on the open field. A gain of 5 yards. That is someone that they've got to run the offense through. There is no other weapon on this Los Angeles offense.
She is lightning in a bottle for Los Angeles. She can make things happen. You're right, I would feed her the football.
So now we've got an injury timeout, and you could see some of that frustration from Chris Michelson. We'll get a report on this injury a little bit later. That looks like that might be, yeah, that's Kira Bryant. And with that, we will take an injury timeout and check on Bryant when we come back. Back to LFL football night. After that Kira Bryant injury, she has been moved to the sideline. Los Angeles now set up with a 2nd and 5 at the Seattle 11. Johnson in the backfield. She'll get the rock, making defenders miss left and right. And she just has no blockers in front of her. I don't know what Delaney Hall was doing there, but she has no blockers in front.
That was all Naz Johnson. She should have been nailed for a loss. She reversed out, made some moves, and got positive yardage. But you're right, no blocking up front for LA.
A 3rd and 3. Salerno looking into the end zone. Completing it, that is Scary Sherry Awaga. And that'll be good for 5 yards.
Actually, Salerno making things happen. It's not pretty right now. She's dodging defenders right there, throwing to Scary Sherry, who surprisingly, for her size, has pillows for hands, great hands.
I think the blocking up front has been mediocre at best for Los Angeles, but that's easy to say when you're facing Stevie Schnorr, Savannah Wood, and Katie Whelan up front.
This is like street football for Ashley Salerno.
A 1st and goal. Ashley Salerno trying to lower her shoulder. Earlier in her career, she could get away with that, but Stevie Schnorr having none of that. And we've got a Los Angeles timeout. When we come back, it'll be a 2nd and goal, or we're gonna actually stay here. What is the scheme of Los Angeles and Rory Derry to try to get some points on the board?
Well, that's the problem. You hit the nail on the head. Inside the 10-yard line, they don't have a scheme. They get a trip set. They got Salerno in the shotgun, and she just tries to bull her way in. But with the offensive line blocking like it's a taffy pull and no blocking, there's no yardage there.
Yeah, there's no physicality at the up front line of scrimmage, and you've got size. Look, you've got Sherry Awaga, you've got the new center in there that's a beast, supposedly, Shalyn Scahill, but they are just being manhandled by the front line of Seattle. 2nd and goal. Salerno, play action, wide open. Touchdown, Hallie Jiskra. That is the 2nd touchdown reception for Jiskra this half.
Good things happen when Hallie Jiskra touches the football. A naked bootleg wide open the end zone. Salerno delivers the football. Great catch, gets her feet in. Touchdown Los Angeles. But Hallie Jiskra, she did this in Chicago. Every time she touched the football was a big play.
Quite a drive by Los Angeles. 9 plays, 35 yards. Taking up 2.5 minutes. This is exactly what this offense, and more importantly, this team needed. This is a confidence builder. Here's the extra point attempt all over Salerno. Savannah Wood, I tell you what, quietly, I don't know that somebody's had a more dominant half of football than Savannah Wood.
Wood is laying wood on the entire LA team, but getting back to that play selection for the touchdown, that's what Rory Derry should do all game. Play action, bootlegs coming across, and you catch them coming across in the seams. Don't go deep like you tried to do the whole first half.
But why did that play action work? Because they committed to the run game in Naz Johnson. They had not built up the run game up to that point.
You should be the OC for LA.
I'm telling you, my high school career was one of the most storied in the history of the game of football.
I'm making a call to Rory Derry right after the game.
1st and 10, ball at the Seattle 15-yard line. Seattle has time here. A quick little check off there to Stevie Schnorr. Schnorr smartly getting out of bounds and stopping the clock.
Now that's what you can't do if you're the LA defense. Early pressure, you got all over KK Matheny right there. She had all day long. They're in a prevent defense, and they're going to probably move down the field.
And I tell you what. So that is a Seattle timeout. I thought Schnorr got out of bounds. Perhaps they still want to talk about strategy. What do you want to do here? I mean, you got so many weapons if you're Seattle. You have Allie Alberts, Jade Randall, but we haven't seen anything from offensively. Dominique Malloy, I mean, pick your poison.
What does that tell you about the talent level? Jade Randall, the league MVP, has not even seen the football tonight.
Allie Alberts, I got to tell you, I personally did not believe that she could be that effective on the offensive side of the ball. We've seen so much from her at the safety position, potentially a Hall of Fame type career, but tonight She's showing how well-rounded she is.
She has a chip on her shoulder, showing her old coach, Keith Hack, that she is one of the most talented offensive players in the league.
So now a 1st and 10, ball at the Los Angeles 23. And all that momentum and confidence that you built up as Los Angeles with that score, you'll give it up right away if you allow Seattle to convert here.
And you know Chris Michelson likes to go for the jugular. He's not going to lay down. He's going for points.
And here comes the heavy rush. Monique Gaxiola not able to get to Matheny, but Marissa Lopez and TJ Anderson all over the 5'2" quarterback.
Great job by KK Matheny getting rid of the football, trying to step up in the pocket, climb the ladder, but she couldn't do it. Her speed couldn't get her away from the rush, but she could throw the ball away, and she did.
Make that Mariah Lopez, actually twin sisters from Dallas, Texas. Lopez starting at safety tonight. Now setting up a 2nd and 10. Ball remains at the 23 of Los Angeles. LA looking to bring pressure again after Matheny. No, they're gonna rush the edges. But they get to her. This time, Chelsea Hart. We talked about Hart having problems in coverage, but you could see up front, she's an absolute beast.
She's a beast at defensive end. That was basic blocking up front. That wasn't a blitz either.
A great stop by the Los Angeles defense, preserving the opportunity at a comeback in the 2nd half. Back with halftime festivities from Ontario, California after this. Rally from 2 scores down. Here we go. The 2nd half is next. Back to LFL football night in Los Angeles, California. The city serving as the backdrop for the 10th anniversary kickoff in a game where the hometown Los Angeles Temptation trail the visiting Seattle Mist 27-13.
The crowd is back in the game. LA's got the ball first, only down 2 scores.
That's an end-around reverse to Delaney Hall, and that's a name we haven't called all night.
Delaney Hall was one of their top receivers last year. Hasn't seen the football at all through the air. That's her first touch.
Delaney Hall has always kind of underachieved, has the mechanics, has the speed to become a dominant receiver in the game. She's never just lived up to the hype.
She's exactly what we talked about earlier about the play selection. Somehow, Rory Derry needs to develop plays to get her the football.
2nd and 8, ball remains at the 17 of Los Angeles. Nas Johnson patiently waiting for a hole, nothing there. And if you look at that front line, they were very high on the Los Angeles side about center Shalyn Scahill, but she has been dominated. And I gotta tell you, they're just outmatched up front. We talked about it the entire 1st half, and we're seeing it carry over now to the 2nd half.
The play action passes, the naked reverses, all that stuff works, but they're not doing it. Right there, their 2 free safeties are all fantasy safeties. We're in on the tackle. They're playing up by the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 6. Los Angeles' ball at the 19-yard line. Salerno has remained in the shotgun most of the night. They're gonna go down the field. Receiver was open, and that ball was underthrown, intended for Delaney Hall.
Delaney Hall, the one receiver that can possibly go deep, had Allie Alberts beat. Ashley Salerno simply underthrew the football. She made the right read. She saw the safeties coming way up, 7 yards off the line of scrimmage, picked the right receiver, just couldn't get her the football.
Again, I got to question the play calling. You had a 3rd and 6. You're down 2 scores. You don't need all the points right now. Move the ball, get some points on the board.
I agree with that, but right at that situation, the one-on-one coverage, she was open. It could have been 6 points.
4th and 6. Salerno trying to buy time, now just heaving it down the field. That is tipped. Tipped and intercepted by Allie Alberts. Alberts now tackled and stripped. How about the effort on Danielle Harvey, stripping the football from Allie Alberts?
Wow, that might be the play of the game for Los Angeles. That was an interception by Alberts. The whole crowd was groaning. Danielle Harvey comes up and strips her. Wow.
You could see an ill-advised pass by Ashley Salerno into traffic. Intercepted tip drill by Allie Alberts. And then right here, very late into the run, Danielle Harvey just comes in and wants it more and simply strips the ball from Allie Alberts.
Usually defenders are taught once the runner's held up, then go in and strip the ball. Danielle Harvey did it all by herself, held the runner up and then stripped her.
Salerno electing to keep it herself again. That'll be good for 4 yards. This is renewed life for this Los Angeles offense. They have got to take advantage of this turnover.
They have to get points. They got the quarterback to do it. They know they can move the football now. Now they have to execute.
And there's a look at Hunter Hudson. He's actually the defensive coordinator. We talked about it in the pregame show. Both Hunter Hudson and Rory Derry have had to kind of clean up the mess that has been left behind since the retirement of Tui Suinoa. A 2nd and 6 ball at the 18-yard line. That's Lindsey Cash in motion. Over the middle, intended for Cash. And a great break on the ball by Kiara Williams. Could not come up with the interception.
Just an ill-advised pass by Ashley Salerno. There's nothing here. She has all kinds of time. A post pattern, there's nothing there. Kiara Williams comes across, should have caught the football, and she could have gone with it.
Check that. That ball was intended for Fuyuki Hamaguchi. A quick story behind Hamaguchi, number 10. She is the first Japanese player in the LFL, and they had her marked as the highest grade of the offseason. They've just simply not been able to get the ball to her.
You are correct. The story of training camp was Fuyuki Hamaguchi. She was a player in camp. They just need to get her in the action and get her to football.
That was Jade Randall all over Ann Erler. This Los Angeles offense, the passing game specifically, has just been all off sorts, with the exception of a couple touchdown passes to Hallie Jiskra.
You need to go where it works. Hallie Jiskra makes plays happen. Need to go back to her.
So now another 4th down here for the LA offense. They caught a break last time with the Danielle Harvey stripping of the ball of Allie Alberts, and they may not be able to take advantage of that turnover here.
Hopefully Rory Derry, he's yelling plays in right now to Salerno. Hopefully they work. They need to score this possession.
You've got a trips left, a lot of confusion back there. This looks to be a double pass. Ann Erler, the former quarterback, heaving it down the field. That looked like it was sloppy from the very beginning. You could see the receivers flank to the left of Salerno, completely confused. And we'll take a break here. Los Angeles stalling out and still trailing in this one. Back to LFL football night. Mitch Mortaza, Bobby Hugo, and Heidi Golznig in a game where the Los Angeles Temptation trail it 27-13.
That was a huge stop for the Seattle defense. If KK Matheny can get the offense in the end zone, they're up 3 scores. I don't know if LA could come back from that.
1st and 10, ball at the Seattle 18. They're going to go to Dominique Malloy. Malloy chased down from the backside by Monique Gaxiola. Gaxiola making her return after a 2-year hiatus.
Savannah Wood laying some more wood out front. Right there, Dominique Malloy is so fast. She gets to the hole, the point of attack, quicker than any running back in the league.
KK Matheny now a deep drop, buying time with her feet, and simply dumps it off to Katie Whelan. Monique Gaxiola once again on the tackle.
Nothing open deep in the secondary. KK Matheny. Centers are taught. Once your player goes behind you to the quarterback, turn around, you might get the ball, and Katie Whelan caught her first pass of the night.
That was a 1st down reception. They're going to go back to the ground. This is Stevie Schnorr, not able to cut across the middle. Tackled by T.J. Anderson and Sherry Awaga.
That's one of the best defensive plays all night by Los Angeles. Anderson and Sherry Awaga tackling one of the most powerful running backs in the LFL. That's like 2 dogs going after a bone, and they got the bone.
2nd and 6 after that 4-yard carry by the Bull. That's Dominique Malloy in motion. Rolling right, Matheny, well set up play. Dump off, Stevie Schnorr. And Schnorr just breaking through the arm tackle of Chelsea Hart. That'll be good enough to set up a 1st and goal for Seattle.
That is the first time all night we've seen that play selection from head coach Chris Michelson. He told me he has 170 offensive plays. I like when he mixes it up.
I tell you what, the sophistication of the offenses are day and night from what we've seen tonight. Matheny again from the shotgun, rolling right into the crowd. A souvenir for this LA crowd. That'll set up a 2nd and goal.
Do they get to keep the footballs?
Of course. They get a beer, the football. They've got Johnny Depp entertaining them down on the field. It's the 10th anniversary, Bob Yuko.
You go to most football games, they have the Kiss Cam. You come to the LFL, they have the Kiss Cam and the beer cam. I never saw so many beers chugged in my life.
Yeah, this is an atmosphere. If you've never been to an LFL game, whether you're a football fan or not, it is a rock and roll atmosphere. And tonight, these are the 2 best teams to kick off our season. A 2nd and goal. I said earlier 3rd and goal. It's actually a 2nd and goal. Handoff, Dominique Malloy. Malloy nearly running out of her pants. Ann Erler with a great open field tackle.
Great play by Annie Erler. When you have nothing, you have to grab whatever you can. Right now, she looks like a Copper Tone commercial, but you know what? It works. It gets her down.
Dominique Malloy, one of the fastest players in the league, could not get away from Ann Showtime Erler. There's a look at Erler. The last time she played LFL football was back in 2012 with the Green Bay Chill. And that's a big hiatus, 7 years, but she has not missed a beat.
She looks great. She was a great quarterback in Green Bay in the LFL. Great all-around athlete. She's showing it tonight.
Here comes that Los Angeles crowd trying to urge on this defense. That's Kiera Williams, who's looked sharp tonight for a 7-yard carry all the way down to the Los Angeles 1.
TJ Anderson again with maybe a game-saving tackle. She was going in the end zone, and she pulled her down on a 2.
This could be the biggest play of the game to this point. And here comes the Los Angeles crowd once again. 4th and goal. Ball at the 1-yard line.
I'll give you one guess who's going to get the football.
From the Wildcat, the Bull, Stevie Schnorr, trying to get to the outside. What a tackle and containment by Chelsea Hart and Ann Erler.
Chelsea Hart just threw off the block of Kara Bryant. This is unheard of. She buckles her down, stops her, stops Stevie Schnorr, the Bull, short of the end zone. That never happens.
Now, wait a minute. They're calling this a touchdown down on the field, and that's Hunter Hudson with one of the ugliest throws of a challenge flag you'll ever see, but nonetheless, Los Angeles challenging it here. I didn't think she got in.
That's a great challenge. They called her in, but I don't think she was either. I think she's short.
And referee Jeremy Hewitt confirming the challenge and having some audio issues down on the field. We'll get another look at this. I thought her right knee was down right there before the ball crossed. Let's take a look here. Right there, you could see the right leg, and she was losing the football. I think this is going to be turned over.
Wow, that is closer than I thought. And that angle looked in. I thought she was out. Who knows?
Well, I know. Her right knee was down. This should be overturned.
The ruling on the field touchdown has been overturned.
And look at Hunter Hudson on the sideline, absolutely stoked about making the right call. And that was a great call. A turnover on downs, a big stop by the Los Angeles defense.
I think Hunter Hudson was happy on two areas. One, that they saw his challenge flag. It only went 3 yards. The other was they turned it over.
Los Angeles wasting no time going down the field. Nearly caught by Melissa Miles. Again, the receivers for Los Angeles having a really tough time tonight.
That was perfect placement by the quarterback, Ashley Salerno. Outside shoulder away from the DB. You have to come up with that ball if you're a receiver.
That's the end of the third quarter.
As Jeremy Hewitt tells us, that is officially the end of 3 quarters of play from Ontario, California, in a battle between Seattle and Los Angeles. Back for the final 10 minutes after this. Hugo, that is quite the video, and we're down for the final 10 minutes of football from Ontario, California.
Let's see what the Snake has. Ashley Salerno, they got a shot to beat Seattle. This would be huge.
They got to get some points on the board first, and that's a good way to get it started. A 12-yard connection with Sherry Awaga.
That's the kind of pass that Rory Derry has to use the whole game. Short, crisp, you cut up zones, you have a receiver who can catch the football. Keep doing that.
Here's a draw play. Naz Johnson, nowhere to go. How about the pursuit of Jade Randall? Randall, after signing with the Nashville Knights last season, decided to return and play on this all-star lineup.
Outstanding year last year. Look at her stats right there. Interceptions, tackles, there's none better. Her and Allie Alberts, the top 2 in the league right now. They're fun to watch.
I think that's what most fans were excited about, even if you aren't a Seattle Mist fan. The pairing of Allie Alberts and Jade Randall at safety, maybe outside of Lauren Ziegler and maybe you could say Adrian Purnell, there's no other better pairing in the history of the game. That pass incomplete. That was intended for Ann Erler, but we've got a flag. Ashley Salerno indicating this should be on Seattle. We'll get the call here from Jeremy Hewitt.
Pass interference. Defense is green. Ball is placed, spotted foul, automatic first down.
So I didn't hear who the penalty was on, but maybe we can get a look at it here.
Dominique Malloy, it's obvious. Great call by the officials. Flinner trying to make something happen. Not a great pass, but she came in hard up top before the ball got through.
That is Naz Johnson in motion at the top of your screen. Salerno buying time, looking down the field and overshooting her target. Pass intended for Melissa Miles.
Nothing there for Salerno. I don't know why they keep trying to go deep. Early in this drive, they had that short pass to Awaga, wide open, underneath coverage, in the zone. Keep doing that every time they go deep, with the exception to the pass to Holly Gistra. It's incomplete.
Yeah, I think you got to be careful here if you're Rory Derry, the offensive coordinator for Los Angeles. You cannot get impatient. Still a lot of time remaining in this game. You fought back into it. Give your team a chance here. 2nd and 10, ball remains at the 19. This is Salerno just evading rushers. And that is a quick flash of what she is capable of. A nice 5-yard carry by the 8-year quarterback.
You really have to hand it to Salerno. She's not getting much protection up front from Scahill, Awaga, and Gistra, but she's making something happen and moving the football.
Yeah, you know she's grown up a bit. In previous years, when the pocket collapses around her or she's getting dropped footballs, you can see clear frustration on her face. Not tonight. She's remained stoic and like a leader.
She has been leading this football team. They have a chance to upset Seattle right now.
3rd and 5 again. Salerno calling her own number, gaining 8 yards. And another Los Angeles first down.
This could set up a deep play because the safeties came up so quick because they know she's going to run the ball now. I'll be curious what Rory Derry calls now.
Yeah, this is, if you're going to look for a deep ball, this is the best time to do it, because I think Chris Michelson's going to sell out here. They're going to get after Ashley Salerno.
Because they know they can't get to her.
1st and 10. That's Naz Johnson in the backfield. Melissa Miles in motion. Fakes the handoff, dropping back, and just running out of real estate. This time the rush able to get to Salerno.
That's the 2nd time they tried that naked boot right there. The first time, if you remember, it was triple covered. There's nothing here. Single coverage, She overthrows the football.
Salerno just able to buy time, but there's Savannah Wood again. You know, we got to look at the stats for Wood in terms of hurries. She has been in the backfield more than most Los Angeles players tonight.
Defensively, she is playing off the charts. She made that great catch on offense, one of the stars of the evening.
A 2nd and 10, some conversation in the backfield between Salerno and Johnson. That's Delaney Hall in motion. Down the middle. Caught! Scary Sherry Awaga. Touchdown, Los Angeles.
We simply call this a competition ball. Who wants it more? Awaga outduels Kiera Williams, then walks in the end zone. LA is back in the game. Wow.
So that's a roughing the passer call on Seattle. Decline. The touchdown will stand. And that'll make this a 1-possession game. A little bit of anxiety you could see creeping onto that Seattle sideline.
Coach Michelson, you could see, was not even looking at David Price. He's wondering what happened to Coach Price's defense. Right now, LA's on a roll.
LA trails this by 8. 1-point conversion here from the 1. All over Salerno, caught again by Awaga, but stopped short of the goal line by Jade Randall. Our score will remain 27-19, but LA fights their way back into the game. Back for the final few minutes of this battle after this. Back to LFL football night. A look at downtown Los Angeles and indoors. We're having fun in Ontario, California. The 10th anniversary kickoff of the Legends Football League. On the call, Mitch Mortaza, Bobby Hugo, and our sideline reporter, Heidi Golsnick.
That fit perfectly. When I saw you before the game listening to the Beach Boys, now they play the wave, you know you're in Los Angeles.
1st and 10, ball at the Seattle 15, and this LA crowd has definitely come to life. That's one way to quiet them right there. Stevie Schnorr, a 13-yard carry.
When in trouble, Seattle goes to the bull. Stevie Schnorr, she is tougher than a mama wasp. Staring down a can of Raid, she goes right at you and right through you.
Yeah, Stevie Schnorr, when they needed the yards, even late last year or their championship run in 2017, they went to the bull, and that's when she picked up her nickname. She is just purely dominant over these defenses. A look at Monique Gaxiola, her first return back after a 2-year hiatus, and you can see she is clearly winded.
She needs to step her game up because you know they're going to the bull again at some point during this drive, right over Mo Gaxiola. She's got to step her game up.
Seattle in no hurry here to get a playoff. Obviously working on that clock. KK Matheny, one of the more cerebral quarterbacks. They're going to go back to the bull. And that is why they call her the bull, absolutely blowing up Delaney Hall.
Actually, Delaney Hall did a great job just getting her body in front of her and getting her out of bounds for a short yardage gain. Good play by Hall.
2nd and 7. Ball at the Los Angeles 19-yard line, and that clock continues to count down in a 1-possession game. If there was a time for a defense to dig in, this is it for Los Angeles. From under center, Matheny fakes the handoff, rolling right to the back of the end zone. Are you kidding me? What placement by Matheny, and back shoulder catch by Allie Alberts.
This is why KK Matheny is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in the LFL. A gunslinger. Everybody thinks they're going to give it to Schnorr. They fake to her. Go up top to Allie Alberts. Perfect pass, outside shoulder. Touchdown, Seattle. Wow.
And that is called an offensive scheme, boys and girls. Chris Michelson baited the Los Angeles defense during that whole drive, setting up that pass.
Unbelievably great call by Michelson, and for KK Matheny, you can check all the boxes. She is a great quarterback.
Here's the one-point attempt, Kiera Williams. Williams able to get into the end zone and extend Seattle's lead. Now to 34-19.
I am still shocked that Kiera Williams is a backup running back. Trying to break in the starting lineup for Seattle in the backfield is like trying to break into the Beatles. She can play, but she got to wait her turn.
Yeah, as promising as Kiera Williams is, Dominique Malloy and Stevie Schnorr, she's not going to start ahead of them. And there's a look of disgust from Monique Gaxiola talking to defensive coordinator Hunter Hudson. Coach Hudson trying to talk Monique Gaxiola off the ledge. She's had a tough night tonight.
It's her first game. To her credit, she made a comeback. She was retired. She wasn't going to play again. She knew it was going to be tough. She's got 3 more regular season games. She's going to step her game up.
1st and 10, and this LA offense has got to get some points on the board in a hurry. That's not going to get it done. Ashley Salerno, that's Savannah Wood, and Katie Whelan all over her.
They have to play with urgency right now. It's a 2-score game. You have to rely on Salerno's arm.
2nd and 7, LA is in a hurry-up offense here. Fakes the handoff to Johnson, going down the field. Just not on the same page with her receivers. That pass intended for Hamaguchi.
Hamaguchi was open underneath, but not deep. Ashley Salerno's foot slipped. Her plant foot and the ball went way out of where Hamaguchi was.
And if you're not familiar with LFL rules, fans, that's a continuous running clock until we get inside of 2 minutes of the 2nd quarter and the 4th quarter. So that is why this clock continues to run, and the fate of Los Angeles with it.
There's Hamaguchi right there. I'm glad she's in the game. She's a playmaker. They're going to try to get her to football.
A 3rd and 7. Johnson in the backfield from under center. Looking down the field now, checking down, wide open. A great looking pass from Salerno to Johnson. That's a 15-yard connection.
I love the way Salerno went through her reads. That was her 3rd selection coming back to Naj Johnson against the boards, against Jade Randall, and she caught the football.
2-minute warning. Timeout.
And that'll take us to our 2-minute warning. Los Angeles on the doorstep, down 2 scores. We'll try to rally here on the arm of Ashley Salerno. And this got him right back in the game. Sherry Awaga taking it in. Los Angeles still has life. Back to LFL football night, and next week, we've got the Atlanta Steam visiting the Chicago Bliss. Dakota Hughes at quarterback for Atlanta. Jane Caldwell not re-signed for Chicago. It will be Tamika Robinson. An interesting game to say the least.
A lot of folks around the LFL think this is Atlanta's year. They are loaded just like Seattle is.
1st and 10. Salerno going to the end zone. Hamaguchi, or make that Melissa Miles, was running wide open. Again, are they on the same playbook or not? This has been going on all night.
That is all on Ashley Salerno. She wishes she could have that back. Kiera Williams got sucked inside. Melissa Miles wide open in the end zone. They catch that. They're in it with an onside kick. They could win this game.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if Miles was supposed to take the route more in the seam. It seemed like she was just going on a go pattern down into the end zone. Again, not on the same page. 2nd and 10. The clock does stop there. This is Salerno dropping way back and just heaving it into the crowd. That'll make it a 3rd and 10. Salerno getting up very slow and favoring that left ankle.
She's been taking serious heat all night. Kara Bryant right there taking her down again. She threw it away. Smart play by Salerno. Tee it up and go for a score.
Yeah, this is it. If you can get a score here, you still have the onside kick. So Los Angeles is still very much so alive in this game. From the shotgun, looking to the left, dumping it off. That's complete. Danielle Harvey. Much needed yardage. That'll pick up 9 yards and set up a vital 4th and 1.
Great read by Salerno. Seattle brought the heat from the outside. Danielle Harvey across the middle. Solid play for LA. They're moving the football again.
All right, you got a 4th and 1 here. You got a back in Nas Johnson. That's not necessarily a power back. Los Angeles lost Carmen Borso, the F-150, who was made for these situations. So we will see who they go to here.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Salerno keep it herself.
Empty back set. Salerno overshoots her receiver. That is intercepted. Kiera Williams. Williams making it happen on both sides of the ball. I'm not sure if that pass was intended to Awaga or the receiver over the top.
It's to Awaga. She's wide open. Salerno again, that's 2 passes on this series. Simply misread and overthrew the ball right there. That would have been a first down for Los Angeles.
Instead, Seattle taking over. And just a few kneel downs, they will improve to 1-0. And Los Angeles will drop to 0-1. You talked about this being a defining game in only a 4-game season. That is very much so the case.
Seattle can't get too cocky. A lot of people thought they're going to blow LA away with this lineup. And right there, a couple good passes. LA could have stolen this game. For LA, we've been all over Rory Derry all night about the offense. If they can somehow put together a good scheme, they can beat some people.
Yeah, this score is not indicative of how closely played this game was. Certainly not a 34-19 game. And this Los Angeles crowd letting KK Matheny know they don't appreciate the kneel down. Yeah, Los Angeles is not that far away, I think. We thought that they would come in and get really dominated by Seattle. But outside of a couple missed plays in the passing game, some poor blocking up front, and some poor tackling at times in the secondary, those are the fixes that I saw.
They have talent. They put a scare into the #1 ranked team tonight. They get their stuff together, they're going to win some ball games.
This is Matheny taking another knee, and that should do it. So the all-star team, the Seattle Mist, take care of business on the road in Ontario, California. And as I said, they will move to 1-0. The Los Angeles Temptation now will be in a chase mode. We will see how Austin looks. We will see how the Denver Dream look. That's the remainder of the Western Conference. Your thoughts on Seattle?
Seattle did what they had to do. They came into a hostile environment tonight in the Citizens Bank Arena. They opened up early, got on the board. People thought it was going to be a blowout. LA came back, but they won the football game. They did what they had to do.
Yeah, and all of their aces, when you talk about Allie Alberts, Jade Randall, Stevie Schnorr, even Dominique Malloy, they all delivered tonight. They lived up to the hype, and as a result, Seattle